Book Summary of Brutal Vows, Queens and Monsters Book 4 by J.T. Geissinger. Title: Brutal Vows Series, Queens and Monsters, Book 4. Author: J.T. Geissinger. Genre: Dark Mafia Romance. Summary: Brutal Vows, the fourth and final book in J.T. Geissinger's Queens and Monsters series, is a passionate, dark, and emotionally intense conclusion to a saga built on dangerous alliances, mafia power plays, and the collision of opposites. In this installment, Geissinger crafts a tense enemies to lovers story starring Spider, a calculating and deadly Irish mobster, and Reyna, a mysterious woman bound by secrets, power, and vengeance. The novel begins with Spider, the icy and enigmatic leader of the Irish mob in Los Angeles, tasked with securing a political alliance through marriage. Cold, powerful, and emotionally detached, Spider agrees to marry the niece of a powerful man to secure an empire-spanning union. But when he goes to meet his bride-to-be, he encounters someone who wasn't supposed to be in the picture: Reyna, the bride's fiery, independent aunt. Reyna is not just a bystander. She's a force to be reckoned with, fierce, self-assured, and deeply protective of her niece. She's also hiding a painful past and a burning need for control. From the moment she meets Spider, there's friction. Not the polite kind. The kind that sparks. The kind that burns. What starts as disdain quickly becomes something else. Despite Spider's calculated approach to life and Reyna's razor-sharp defenses, their chemistry is undeniable. They clash at every turn, verbally sparring with lethal wit, constantly trying to outmaneuver one another. But beneath the tension lies a powerful attraction neither of them can deny. The initial plan spirals into chaos when the niece vanishes, throwing everything into disarray. Suddenly, Spider and Reyna are forced to work together to figure out what went wrong and to protect the balance of power they both rely on. As secrets unravel, Reyna and Spider find themselves entangled not just in each other's lives but in each other's pain, rage, and desire. Through this journey, Reyna's own past emerges as a critical force. Her strength isn't just from being tough, it's forged through survival. She's not looking for a savior, she is her own savior. But when faced with Spider's relentless pursuit, she must choose between staying in control or allowing herself to be vulnerable. Perhaps for the first time, Spider, meanwhile, begins to question the walls he's built around himself. Behind his emotionless mask lies trauma, regret, and a capacity for loyalty that runs deep. Reyna challenges him in ways no one ever has, forcing him to confront his past and consider a future not built solely on power and fear. As they navigate betrayal, violence, and high-stakes mafia games, the lines between enemies and lovers blur. Their relationship evolves into something raw and real, brutal in its honesty, tender in its quiet moments. And as with all the books in the Queens and Monsters series, the path to love is not smooth. It's carved out with blood, fire, and fierce devotion. The climax of the novel crescendos into a whirlwind of revelations and action. Spider and Reyna must face not only external enemies but the personal demons that have kept them from truly connecting. Their union becomes not just about passion or survival, but transformation. Together they become more than the sum of their parts. They become dangerous. They become unstoppable. They become each other's salvation. In Brutal Vows, Geissinger gives readers a gripping blend of high-stakes danger, slow-burn passion, and emotional healing. It's a story about two people who've endured unspeakable things and come out fighting, only to discover that the hardest battle might be learning to love and trust. The supporting cast, some familiar from previous books, add layers of continuity and depth, weaving this final installment tightly into the world Geissinger has meticulously built. Characters from earlier books make appearances, allowing readers to see how their stories have evolved and giving a sense of finality to the series. Thematically, Brutal Vows explores power, control, vengeance, and redemption. It questions what it means to love someone who terrifies you, and what it means to love someone enough to let them see you at your most broken. Reyna and Spider are not a typical couple. They are raw edges and biting words. But in the end, that's exactly why their love story works. It feels earned. From explosive beginnings to a satisfying and heartfelt conclusion, Brutal Vows offers the perfect final chapter to the Queens and Monsters series. With her signature sharp prose, crackling dialogue, and emotionally resonant storytelling, J.T. Geissinger cements her place as a queen of dark romance. Key characters: Spider, a ruthless, emotionally closed-off Irish mobster who has built an empire through fear and calculated decisions. Despite his cold exterior, he is haunted by his past and has a deep capacity for loyalty and love. Reyna, a strong-willed, independent woman with a dark past and sharp instincts. She's fiercely protective of her niece and unafraid to challenge anyone who threatens her, even someone as dangerous as Spider. The niece, intended to be Spider's bride for political purposes, but her unexpected disappearance sparks the chain of events that throws Reyna and Spider together. Supporting cast includes characters from previous books in the series who provide insight, support, and an ongoing narrative thread for fans following the broader Queens and Monsters world. Tone and style: J.T. Geisinger's writing style in Brutal Vows is intense, witty, and emotional. She balances high-stakes action and dark mafia intrigue with moments of vulnerability and romance. Her dialogue is sharp and punchy, especially in the verbal sparring matches between Spider and Reyna. The chemistry between the leads crackles off the page, making their journey from enemies to lovers all the more satisfying. Themes: enemies to lovers. The tension and power struggles between Reyna and Spider drive much of the plot and emotional development. Power and control. Both protagonists are used to holding power and struggle to relinquish control, even in intimate relationships. Healing from trauma. Both Reyna and Spider carry emotional scars, and much of the novel deals with learning to trust and heal. Redemption and growth. Particularly in Spider's arc, we see the transformation of a man hardened by life who learns to open his heart. Reader experience. Fans of dark romance and mafia stories will find Brutal Vows a rewarding and engrossing read. The book delivers on the promise of danger, passion, and emotional depth, while providing closure to the beloved Queens and Monsters series. It's a slow burn filled with sizzling chemistry, intense emotions, and just enough danger to keep the pages turning. Reyna is especially notable as a heroine, mature, intelligent, sarcastic, and impossible to intimidate. Her dynamic with Spider stands out in a genre often filled with more submissive leads. Readers who enjoy strong women holding their own and fiercely loyal men will devour this book. Conclusion: Brutal Vows is a compelling finale to the Queens and Monsters series. Sexy, savage, and full of heart. With two unforgettable leads and a narrative that weaves brutality and beauty into every chapter, J.T. Geissinger gives readers an explosive enemies-to-lovers romance that lingers long after the last page. Reyna and Spider's love story is proof that even in a world built on blood and vengeance, love can grow and thrive.